Welcome back to PJ Chen Design. This is PJ. Today I would like to show you making this eternity band. I will also like to show you how to calculate the stone correctly for different ring size. Are you ready? Let's get started. We are going to starting this ring by import the stone for the practice, and you can download the stone file at the description below. Just need to sign up the newsletter. So once you get the stone in the file, what you wanted to do is copy paste, or you can just use in the import. And then we need to size into the certain size that we want. In this case, I would like to have my stone in 2.5 millimeter. Currently, the stone is snapping into a vertex here and here, and it is 5 millimeters. So we need to cut another cut, but scale it down for half size. Now the way to scale is to use a scale 3D tool. And we're gonna coming over here, and you can type any number here. I want it to be 2.5, so I'm just gonna type it 2.5 there. And we also wanted to have them to align to the centers. So using the command align centers and type it 0, so it will be at the 0 construction plane. All right, and coming into the top view, we can decide how big the ring size is going to be. We are going to use the circle command. Type it 0, so it can snapping right in the center of the construction plane. And I'm going to use the diameter for 16 here. And we just need to kind of moving this guy up. All right, so the ideal stone distance is in between 0.1 to 0.2 millimeter. So if I'm going to draw a line somewhere snapping into here on the vertex, and I roughly need to make sure that it's not smaller than 0.1 millimeter. So I kind of want to put a tag there just for the reference. So we kind of need to calculate it, how many stone is needed for this ring. And one thing important, right at this area where is the collet to the ring size, you want to keep a good distance for in between 0.5 to 1 millimeter as well. Okay, so let's actually need to move this one just up a little bit. All right, so somewhere there. Now we are going to use the command for polar array, and we're gonna snapping into the 0, and I'm just gonna guessing 18 of them for 360 degree, and apparently it's not enough. You don't want to have the big gap like that. The stone want to get it as close as possible, right? So I'm going to bump it up to 22 and see if that works. I mean, it's really close, it's not too bad, but it's roughly about 0.2 millimeters. See if I can jam in 2 more here. We're gonna try 24, and then it's touching each other, and we're gonna try 23. All right, so it's a pretty good distance there. So I'm going to use the 23 there, and let's click OK. So we don't need this reference anymore. We know it's close enough. Okay, the second thing is we need to find out the angle in between. You can simply just do the calculation 360 divided by 23. Or I can simply just draw 2 straight lines from the vertex to the 0 there. And again from this 0 point to the vertex. So we can simply, by using this angle dimension to find out what is the degree in between this line and this line. And it is showing currently is 15.7. So in between the two collet, we know it's 15.7. All right, so the next things we wanted to do is I want to draw another circle. So this circle is gonna snap into the 0. And we're gonna coming up to somewhere about the girdle, and for something look like this. Okay, and for this one we only have 8 points on the control point. We need a lot more point in there, so we're going to use the rebuild, and let's rebuild this. And before we do that, I want to show you something right here on the model that I made earlier. As you can see, each of the model that has each side of the model that has all the bump on the tip of the stone right here. So you will need a control point over here, and another control point here at the peak, another control point going down. So we have 23 stone, meaning each of the stone that we will need to have some point. So let me draw a line right there. If I do have a line right here in between here and here, and I do rebuild this line to have more point. In this case, we're not counting the beginning at the end, and we click OK. So then we'll have this one, we can moving up. This one and this one, we can move it down, if that makes sense. So we'll have this wavy shape over there. Okay, so now what we do is we have a 23 stone, and each of them will have a high and a low, and actually share the third one. So we actually need is 23 times 2, 46 point. But the very last one is connected, so 45 point. Let's give it a try. We want to pick up this red one, and we want to rebuild this into 45 point. And let's preview and see it come into the correct point. So if you look at the perspective, each of the stone, you got the one in the middle, the one in between the stone, and that's what we are looking for. And if that is okay, you just click OK. All right. Now with this one, we are going to moving the whole thing, like this whole curve, we want to move it to the top somewhere there. And the one in the middle right there, I'm going to turn on the control point and just pick up the one in the middle and going to move it up like this. So ideally, if you move it up on every middle one, so like this one and this one, and it go up like this, and the one in the middle going down like this, it should follow this like really nice curve over there. But it is 45 point, and it's, unless you want to click all of them, I pretty much would like to do is just doing one section. And how do we know that one section, how big are they, is we have this earlier calculation for 15.7. So I'm going to move it like this two line. I'm just gonna move it halfway, so I'm going to move it from here to here and move it to the left for how much is 15.7 divided by 2. So then they will move it into the right place. And we can make them just a little bit bigger. As you can see, I make them too short. I should make them a little bit longer. So I'm going to move the point higher. The same thing over here with this point. I'm just gonna move it a little bit higher. Follow the degree over here. All right. So now we have this one. We can simply just using this curve and this curve to trim off this guy and this guy there. So now we only have that little one section. With this little one section, we can simply just using the polar array and snapping into the 0, doing the same like a stone. We got 27 of them, and now we can select all the curve and join them. So now this is the curve that we have, and it follow the stone curvature. All right, so now we can building the wall for it. I'm gonna coming into my right view and going to creating a rectangle with the corner. So I'm gonna building something look like this, and as you can see, I intentionally make them longer than what I need. Cutting inside of the ring shank is because we're gonna trim it off later. It will get the inside ring, it's more close to what the ring size is. Okay, now we have this right here, and I also like it to be tapered. It's just more graceful, so I'm just simply using the gumball and move it like that. So this is one side, and make sure that you touch the stone, but you don't want to cut it too much because the wall will break when you're setting the stone. So let's give it a try and see how it look. We are going to use the command for sweep one rail. This is the rail, this is the cross section, and we'll get something like this. Now one thing you want to keep in mind, if this one is kind of over folding there, as you can see right here, and also on the bottom, so this won't be able to print it out. To solve this issue, we can simply just moving this curve out to the middle, and you'll get the same result, but you will avoid that folding there. Let's give it a try. Sweep one rail, rail one, cross section, and we'll get something like this. You can see this is much smoother there. It might be a little bit on the bottom. No, the bottom look okay too. All right, so if that side look all right to you, we need to have a mirror to the other side. So that's using the mirror command and using 0 as our mirror axis, and we'll get something like this. All right, notice that this one is over where our ring size is, so we want to use the solid command that you have extruded planar curve, and we want to extrude it on both sides. Okay, so I know the red color might be too much. Let's turn it back to the black color. And everything looked pretty good, except I just noticed there's a one spot right there, it's folding, and that is where the beginning is, as you can see right there. So the boolean may work, but let me show you what happened is if you boolean difference this one and this one out of this one, and you take a look on here, it say closed solid poly surface. It seems working, right? But you see the folding there. It's going to be the problem when you try to export it, and in fact you see the surface is gone, right? So that is not working there. So what I like to do, I'm gonna delete one side of it, and we just need to have a good side and re-rotate it, right? So if we take a look on this one, and over, like everywhere is fine, it's just that section is not good. We can actually trim it off this section and copy this over there. Or I noticed that because the way that we edit the control point, we do have a two harder darker line there, so that's using duplicate edges for this one and this one. They happen to be exactly on the quadrant, right? And I'm going to turn them into a red color so you know which line I'm talking about. All right, so now I have those two red line. I'm going to use those two red line, and I'm going to trim it off the rest of them. All right, and let's give it a try and see if that is happen to be exactly right at the midpoint. We want to do the polar array, and to snapping into the 0, I need 23 of them, and I have all of them there. It looks all right, and I'm going to join it, right? So once you join and we click on it, it will say close solid poly surface. We come back to look at here, it's perfect. It's no longer have that folding there. All right, so be aware of every step on your modeling process, because a lot of time if you happen to find it later, then that's going to cause a lot more problem to fix them. All right, so now we wanted to come back here, and I'm going to have that curve for the ring size, and we're gonna straight extrude it, and we're going to use a Boolean difference, this one and this one out of this one. All right, so now this is a very clean, as you can see, double check is a closed solid poly surface, and those two rings is actually not touching. You're not gonna setting a stone in this way, right? So we need to build some sort of a wall there. As starting building the wall again, I simply just going to making something like this, and we want to make sure that it's long enough to touch on the both side, but not too long to stick it out. So I'll get something like this, rotate it a little bit like this. I want to move it somewhere into the middle, and make sure you don't want to touch the stone, right? So you will have some bar in between like this. You can actually moving up just a little bit, right? And then we can have this one again using this curve, extrude it straight under the solid, extrude it straight, and then we want a Boolean difference of this one, this little bar, and out of this one there. All right, so let me put this bar in other colors so it's easier for you to see. Let's put it into the green color. All right, so we need this bar go over, and how many do we need it? You probably guessed right. Yes, we need 23 of them. So I'm going to type it 0, and for 23 of them, and we'll have all the bar there. So let's take a look on the render view.